speak up in favor of President Biden in there?
I didn't speak.
Was there more people saying Biden should step down or more people saying he should step up?
We're riding with Biden. We're riding with Biden.
Was that the general consensus in there?
We are riding with Biden.
Was there conversation about Vice President
We are
Kamala?
riding with Biden.
Was there conversation about Vice President Kamala Harris in there?
We are riding with Biden.
You're still a national campaign chair, right? Co-chairs?
Yes, I am.
Was that the consensus from
Riding
everyone?
with Biden.
From everyone in the room? Everyone agrees.
Riding with Biden.
Do you still support the idea of a mini primary?
We're riding with Biden.
Does this complicate the ability of Democrats to win back the House?
We're focused on 2025 and we're riding with Biden.
Did you research?
That was James Clyburn. Powerful.
That sounds super
House
enthusiastic.
Democrat. Well, what do you make of that, you guys?
Well, it's obvious that he can't come out and say that there was consensus. I mean, we've seen all the reports. There was actual tears being shed over the idea that they were riding with Biden. But again, he's the national co-chair of Biden's campaign. Like, what else is he supposed to say? And like, I just don't think they have a plan B that is workable at this point. Like, the fact that we've been having this conversation for 2 weeks means that they are trying to figure something out other than riding with Biden.
Yeah.
But the fact that they haven't come to any consensus at all is evident by the fact that the newspapers are still talking about riding with Biden being a bad deal. And so James Clyburn's in a rough spot.
Bill Burton, who used to work for the Obama campaign as a spokesman, had a piece out recently saying it would be a disaster to go with anyone other than Kamala. And we went back earlier on her unpopularity. And he was saying, imagine this. Imagine they do the mini primary and someone like, let's say, Gavin Newsom wins it. But she's still in the VP role, right? Nobody's talking about bouncing her out of the VP role if she doesn't win the sweepstakes. And so now she's got to move out of California because you can't have two people running from the same state for VP and president.
That would be so great.
So the sitting vice president, who is a black woman and Southeast Asian, whatever, she's got to get out of California.
Hell out of your state.
She's got to run as the number 2 behind the white dude in a party whose base is black women and who prizes identity politics. I mean, maybe I actually would like to see that. You don't think that's the kind of message?
Yeah, you don't think that's kind of the message that they're seeking to convey with 100 days left in the damn election? Holy cats, what a disaster.
It was a very interesting thought experiment. Here's more on this meeting. Biden backer Representative Juan Vargas, Democrat of California. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen, who's calling the president's critics a circular firing squad via Politico. Closely watched House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries open the private meeting with remarks about unity, according to one member who interpreted those comments as support for Biden. Jeffries' message, according to Representative Garcia, Democrat of Illinois, was to stay together and listen to each other. But one member who attended today's Democratic caucus meeting tells, who is this reporter, Kadia Goba, the morale of the caucus is at historic lows. When I asked if they would compare it to a funeral like others have, they said, that is an insult to funerals.
Jeez.
And finally, Politico headline, House Dems' sad venting session yields no clear path forward on Biden's future. Oh my God, they must be in therapy daily.
I would be really curious to see if Jimmy Carter is watching the news on this, because in 1980,
live option,
there was a
he's got
senator
another term in him.
who there was a senator a Democrat who told Jimmy Carter that he couldn't win and led a charge to try to replace him. That senator was Joe Biden. So I bet Jimmy Carter is watching with popcorn every night too. He's like, thank God I made it. He was like, let me hold on to this. Hold on until the election day to watch this asshole lose.
That calls for another bag of peanuts and a peach. Yeah.
Honestly, Jimmy Carter might be in better cognitive shape than Joe Biden right now.
Yeah, right.
Honestly, the thing that I find just this whole episode it makes me angry. I should be more cynical than this, but it does still make me angry, is the idea that they've had unprecedented unity within the Democratic conference, right? There wasn't a single one of them that took a look at the Inflation Reduction Act that summarily increased inflation on the American people and increased the suffering of their constituents. There wasn't a single one of them that popped up and said, like, maybe this isn't a good idea. Mm-hmm. Even when the results became evident, they never wanted to revisit it because that had total unity. But as soon as their political prospects are damaged, we have actual tears.
Yeah.
Actual, not a single tear shed for your constituents, but like the narcissism and the cynicism that is today's Democratic Party has given grave concern over the fact they might not be able to keep their jobs.
That's exactly it.
And
I
now
gotta
we're
tell
all
you,
going to
it's
have to pretend, I
refreshing, though.
guess, that we believe this medical doctor from the White House, that the Alzheimer guy or the Parkinson's guy, he only ever examined Biden on his annual physical, and all those other visits were for some unnamed other person at the White House who they will not give us any information about. And it doesn't matter that he was actually meeting with this particular woman who coordinates primary care visits for the president, the vice president, their families, and appointed cabinet members. Just pay no attention to any of that. We swear it wasn't for Joe Biden. And they won't answer whether that when this Alzheimer's or Parkinson's doctor came, he was consulting with the main doctor, Kevin O'Connor, about President Biden, even though the vast majority of the visits followed a very public incident with President Biden showing cognitive decline. They won't answer anything. We're supposed to just accept this doctor letter like he's fine. And meanwhile, I'll give credit to, who is it? Politico, who puts this out in its reporting. Experts in presidential health and its long history of medical cover-ups said the close personal bonds between the Bidens and this Dr. O'Connor, that's the main doctor, intensified the inherent conflicts in relying on this White House physician to accurately tell us anything. Burt Park, author of The Impact of Illness on World Leaders and an advocate for independent oversight of president's health, called the Biden family bonds one of the many concerns about relying on O'Connor to publicly disclose serious medical issues. Quote, "We cannot depend on the presidential physician to come clean. That's a fool's game." And then this from Jacob Appel, professor at the Icahn School of Medicine in New York, who has studied the political dilemmas posed by the president's health, saying the members of the public are fooling themselves if they believe the president's doctor is there to keep them fully informed, and also pointing out HIPAA forbids physicians from disclosing medical information that a patient wants to keep secret. All Joe Biden has to say is, we're not releasing anything about cognitive issues, and these physicians' hands are tied. And yet we're supposed to just take this little letter and say, okay, I guess he's fine. Let me tell you a story about a guy named Leo Grillo. Leo was on a road trip and came across a Doberman. This dog was severely underweight and clearly in trouble. Leo rescued the dog and named him Delta. Sadly, though, Delta was just one of many animals that needed help. And all this inspired Leo to start Delta Rescue. It's the largest no-kill, care-for-life animal sanctuary in the world. They've rescued thousands of dogs, cats, and even horses from the wilderness, and they provide their animals with shelter, love, safety, a real home. April marked 45 years since Leo rescued Delta. Delta Rescue relies solely on contributions to stay open. If you want caring for these animals to be part of your legacy, speak with your estate planner because there are tax benefits for you here too. You can grow your estate while letting your love for animals live well into the future. Check out the estate planning tab on their website to learn more and speak with your advisor. We call dogs man's best friend for a reason. You can help those who need it most. Visit deltarescue.org today to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.